Welcome back. Malaysia's ASEAN Chairmanship has concluded and Timor-Leste is now part of ASEAN. When we were in Delhi in August, this transition was already visible in diplomacy, in institutional readiness and in how ASEAN was positioning itself amid global uncertainty. Joining me is SANKARA SUBRAMANIAM from Bernama's General News Desk, who was part of that coverage. Let's take stock of what Timor-Leste's entry means, not symbolically, but structurally for ASEAN and the international system. Sankara, it's good to have you here. The last we met was in Delhi itself. It was a very exciting time just before the ASEAN summit happening back in KL. Now, Timor-Leste is now part of ASEAN and everyone's happy about it. At a very basic level, why does this matter for the region as a whole, in your opinion?
Okay, thank you, Gerard, for this opportunity. And I think this year, I think we're coming to an end to 2025, and Malaysia has witnessed a very colorful year. And mainly, one is the Trump's visit, and another one is the historic milestone of
colorful and louder.
Colorful and loud,
yeah.
And Timor-Leste joining ASEAN. I think Malaysia has been very much instrumental from the day one in wanting Timor-Leste to join the ASEAN fold. And the 47th ASEAN Summit has witnessed a historic moment where we witnessed the first expansion in 26 years in ASEAN, where Timor-Leste has joined ASEAN fold. And how does it benefit the region? What I feel is that Timor-Leste being in the ASEAN fold, it promotes regional unity, right? Because now you have all the whole Southeast ASEAN nations, this whole Southeast Asia into the ASEAN fold now. So now they are in better position to make critical decisions, right? So when you have small states like Timor-Leste making critical decisions under the same table with other ASEAN member states, it gives more visibility to the country itself to make critical decisions. And that's why.
Right. So you were there when the Prime Minister visited. We had already landed in Kuala Lumpur when the Prime Minister made his way there. You were there at that point doing the coverage. What was that like at that point?
Yeah, of course the reception was very good, and I think the President actually praised our Prime Minister, and because Malaysia was one of the countries where we actually supported Timor-Leste from their time of independence itself, right? And Malaysia was the first nation to set up a liaison office in Timor-Leste, and they actually expressed gratitude to the Malaysian government and the Prime Minister. I think till now, I think the Malaysia has been so much supportive, and as in ASEAN chair, and of course until the membership of ASEAN, I think this is something we have to be proud of.
Now ASEAN often talks about unity. You know, here in Malaysia, we talk about ASEAN, where a lot of this year, revolved around unity and where we need to go. Now with Timor-Leste inside that group, what does unity actually look like? And I don't know if this is a question that is pertinent. What does unity actually look like in real terms, not on paper, but in how ASEAN works?
Okay, I think as a small nation like Timor-Leste being in ASEAN fold, it can actually talk with other member states, right? If they have any issues pertaining to security, there are member states who actually help them. So this actually reduces misunderstandings and also tensions in ASEAN region, which I feel is very important. And a stable Southeast Asia actually contributes to the global peace. I think once you have a stable Southeast Asia, it indirectly promotes global peace as well.
Right. So you believe that a stable Southeast Asia will better promote global peace.
Right.
Now, talking about that, the world's facing wars, trade tensions, also a lot of uncertainty in 2025. I don't know how that's going to play into 2026. Now, how does Timor-Leste's entry change ASEAN's ability to respond to these pressures? I know, once Timor-Leste was admitted into ASEAN, Malaysia is also, ASEAN also has a link to Lusophone countries. Lusophone countries simply mean countries that speak Portuguese. Now, how does this all play in?
Okay, now we have the global major power rivalries taking place between China and US. I think what I feel is that Timor-Leste being part of ASEAN they have better protection. Yeah, because I think major powers tend not to pressure countries like Timor-Leste, small nations like Timor-Leste, to make stand on certain issues. So by being in the ASEAN fold, I feel that they are more better recognized or represented. So they don't take things for granted. I mean, I'm referring to the major powers. So in that way, I think being in ASEAN fold actually will be the best way to actually for them to represent themselves here.
Right. So for ordinary people, businesses, workers, students, what are the most immediate changes Timor-Leste's membership brings both inside the country and also across ASEAN? And did you speak to anyone, or did you speak to young people while you were there? And also, I mean, when we say Timor-Leste, we say young people because Timor-Leste, one of the specialities or advantages about this country is that it has a large demographic of very, very young people. You spoke to them.
About 65% of the population they are below 35 years of old, and what is the main concern is that they need more clearer guidelines for businesses to take place, right? What are the tax benefits for the businessman, and this terms of in terms of institutional framework, better regulation, business regulatory framework, and this actually Malaysian companies or Malaysians can actually help on to actually regulate.
Now, Malaysia played a big role. We did a lot of work during the chairmanship. Now the celebrations are over, and there's still a lot of work to be done. What practical work still needs to be done to make Timor-Leste's membership a tad bit more meaningful, I guess?
I think we don't see much on the progress of the post-inclusion. I mean, there's no much progress after that. I think what the ASEAN community wants to see a more dynamic Timor-Leste, right? We have what you call better export trade with Timor-Leste. I think there are a lot of things to actually explore. I think their coffee and also their tourism potential, where Malaysian operators can actually tie along, you know.
Right, it'll be interesting to see how we tie in or tie up with them come 2026, because it is the Visit Malaysia year once again. There's a lot of excitement on that end, but how this is going to meld in with Timor-Leste becoming part of the fold here in ASEAN, or the 11th member, that's going to be very interesting. Now, if you had to explain Timor-Leste's entry into ASEAN, and this was a question put to you by the producer, so she says, if you had to explain Timor-Leste's entry into ASEAN in one simple idea to someone with no background in politics, how would you describe its importance?
I think
a simple idea,
a simple idea, I think we can say Timor-Leste is one of the most freest country, I think, in terms of as a journalist. I like to learn more of their press freedom in that country. I think they have one of the good top ranking country in terms of press freedom, and I want to know in terms of what are the best practices we can actually learn from Timor-Leste to actually improve our ranking as well. So I think these are the small things which I like to learn more on Timor-Leste.
Right. So whilst you were there, one thing that stood out was the fact that we visited Tatoli, which is like the Bernama of Timor-Leste, and when you look at their office, you think of humble beginnings as to when we started many years ago. You know, a small setup, people driven to go out and get the news, so on and so forth. I mean, what it was like for you, and do you think we can have news exchanges, especially with the desk you sit on your beat, general news?
Yes, definitely. I think one of the most sought after thing is the English proficiency. I think they need more English teachers from Malaysia to actually teach them to converse in English. This is one area which actually Malaysia can work on in terms of news exchange, right? And we can go more on capacity building. I think we can ask journalists from Tatoli to come over to Malaysia or Bernama itself. Since we have a news cooperation between Bernama and Tatoli, they can come here and learn the best practices. We can train them to become more better journalists, you know, how to do investigative reporting. These things are lacking there. And even our social media in Bernama is doing very well. we can actually, because Tatoli is just going to move on to social media, I think, next year, and we can actually share our thoughts and best practices. So this way we can actually cooperate more.
Right. We've got about a day and a half before we usher in 2026. It's going to be hopefully another very interesting year. Your message to everyone about news, about consuming news, about working with the general desk. Well, I mean, if people have stories and they want to get in touch with the general desk, what do you usually cover?
Okay, it's a good thing that after so long I've been invited in Bernama World, and thanks to you. And actually, I started my career way back in 2006, and foreign news was my forte. So I was doing foreign news reporting for 3 years. So I actually gained much in my 3-year stint in foreign desk, and that actually gave me the experience and exposure to cover international events.
Right.
So I think people who seeks to, they want to have anything on regional reporting or international analysis, yes, I'm there to actually help.
Right. So SANKARA SUBRAMANIAM from the General News Desk, assistant editor at the General News Desk, joining us. He was part of the team who made its way to Timor-Leste. Very interesting times at Timor-Leste when we were there, and I hope we get to do it again some point and have some coffee in Latifeho, I think. Yeah.
Exactly.
On that note, before we go, standing at the edge of a new year, what feels most important to carry forward, and what should we leave behind? Little something for us to think about as we make our way into 2026. That's all the time we have for now. Don't forget to visit bernama.com and follow us on YouTube, X, Instagram and Facebook for all the latest updates. I'm GERARD together with SANKARA SUBRAMANIAM. This has been The World on Bernama TV. Thanks for watching.